Hi guys, so as you have probably heard, most of the profits for the more advanced players usually comes from picking gear off the ground and crafting it. The same goes for me. Like if you look at my trade history, I would say probably 75% of the profit I made so far this season is from crafting gear I found on the ground. But this is not going to be a crafting tutorial. There are a lot of great crafting tutorials out there already. I can link a few in the description of the video. But what I realized is that a lot of people, they don't just struggle with crafting, they struggle with knowing what modifiers are actually good. So this is why I decided to create a spreadsheet that shows, first of all, the must-have modifiers for most items that can be sold very easily, and then what are good additional modifiers. So for an example, we have energy shield helmets, and then we see here the must-have usually is that the helmet has at least 400 plus energy shield. And then a good add is resistance, crit chance is very good, rarity is also great, and then less good but also fine is intelligence or dexterity. And you have these for most of the different bases that can be easily sold. Of course, there are a lot more bases, but most of them, you just don't have enough players who look for these bases, so it's not really worth it to pick them up. But all these type of items, you can pick them all up, especially when they are tiered. And then you can either directly check them if they are rare, or you can craft them with any of the methods that you will find in loads of videos. I also added a few general notes about what you can most likely ask for if you find any of these items. So usually, if you have just the must-have on the item, and it's not like all tier 1s, then you can ask for around 1 divine for the item. And if you have 1 additional modifier, so if you have 1 high resistance, for an example, then usually the price jumps to 2 to 3 divines. And if you have 2 resistances, then usually you can already ask for like 4 to 5 divines. And if you have 3 good modifiers and the tiers are not bad, like it's all tier 2 or 1 tier 1 or something like that, then usually the prices already go up to 20 divines per item. And this can vary a bit for amulets and rings. There, usually the items are worth even more. So if you have an amulet with plus 3 skills and a few good adds, then it's immediately worth like 20 divines. Also depends a bit on the class, but I mean, you can still always, if you have an item you want to sell, you use Alt and Shift, you click the item, and then, okay, there's no ring that is similar, but for an example, if I remove maybe some modifiers. Yeah, here you can see I can compare the item and I get at least a rough idea of what it could be worth. But as I said, in general, this rule works pretty decent to price the item. Like, if the modifiers are all pretty low, then you can also use a price in exalts, of course, like half a divine, which is like 40 exalts right now. But yeah, just as a general rule of thumb, this works pretty well. So yeah, I hope this is helpful. As I said, like usually most profit, especially early on in the league, is made from just picking up stuff from the ground, maybe add a few greater exalts to it, maybe use abyss crafting on it, and then sell it for just a few divines. It's really not that complicated. You just have to know what to look for.